The League of Women Voters of Hillsborough County presents this general election forum of candidates for State Representative District 56 in cooperation with HTV 22, Hillsborough Television, and City of Tampa Television. Voting is not a spectator sport.
Hello, I'm Shirley R. Curie with the League of Women Voters of Hillsborough County. The League is a nonpartisan organization of men and horse candidates or political parties. We present this forum in partnership with City of Tampa Television to help the public become better informed about the candidates in the November 7th general election. All registered voters who reside in Hillsborough County are eligible to vote in the general election. This forum is with candidates for state representative in District 56. You can find district information on your voter registration card. The graphic on your screen shows State Representative District 56, which governs portion of Central and East Central Hillsborough County. The term of office for state representative is 2 years, and the annual salary is $29,916. The names of 2 candidates will appear on the November 7th ballot for State Representative District 56. They are Trey Traviesa with the Republican Party, who did not respond to our invitation, and Democrat Lee Nelson, who is here today. Our panelists are Joan Pines, Professor of Public Administration with the University of South Florida, Rosemary Goudreau, editorial page editor for the Tampa Tribune, and Kathy Betancourt, Associate Vice President for Government Relations with USF. The timekeeper is Greg Forder with the League of Women Voters of Hillsborough County. The candidate will have 1 minute for introductory remarks. Mr. Nelson, your introduction.
Hello. Of District 56 deserve a voice in Tallahassee that represents their needs and issues. I believe we must improve our education system, our growing methamphetamine problem. I believe we can achieve all this while still lowering taxes and protecting our precious environment. I would be honored to be your voice in the Florida House.
Thank you. Now for questions from our panel. Candidate Lee Nelson, who will have up to 90 seconds to respond to each one. The first question will be from Joe Pines. Ms. Pines, your question, please.
The Republican and Democrat leaders expect obedience from their members, calling for party line votes. How will you determine whether or not to follow your party line?
Well, the parties are there as a method for getting people on the ballots and giving the candidates machines to work with, machines that create forums to discuss the issues, mechanisms for raising funds and getting the message out. At the end of the day, there's only one person that gets elected, and they have to take a message that is nonpartisan, that represents the people who put them in office. I don't owe anybody anything. Any of the contributions that were donated to me were given in good faith without any type of expectation of legislation that would be delivered in turn. And the people who would vote for me in District 56, I would answer to them and I would work for them.
Thank you. Ms. Goudreau, your first question, please.
Mr. Nelson, I'm disappointed that you don't have a debate partner, representative who fails to show up and address the public on why he deserves our vote. I wonder if Mr. Traviesa has appeared at other forums to speak with you and what you think it says about a representative who refuses to come before the public and answer questions.
One of the reasons I'm running is because I'm disappointed in how my voice as a citizen of District 56 has been represented in Tallahassee. He didn't have an opponent 2 years ago other than a write-in candidate, and after the Republican primary, he just seemed to waltz right in. The result of that was in 2005, he successfully introduced and passed 2 pieces of legislation One honored the life of the late Pope John Paul II, and the other day. I have nothing against the late Pope John Paul II nor FSU, but I think the people of District 56 deserve to have they have more immediate needs than those meaningless bills. So I think it's very characteristic of my opponent not to show up in a debate like this, and he believes that he's going to waltz right in. This is going to be a close race, and I believe I can.
Bettencourt, your first question, please.
Should you be elected, you will get some communication from the Democratic leader, and he'll be working with the Speaker-designate Rubio on putting together committees. They will ask you what committees you'd like to be on. What committees will you request, and why?
The first piece of legislation that I want to work hard to getting approved is what I mentioned previously, the proactive strategy towards dealing with the methamphetamine problem. So I would like to be on a committee that addresses substance abuse. Methamphetamines is today the modern moonshine. You can download information on the internet about how to produce it. You can go to a drugstore or even a gas station in some instances and purchase the supplies that are needed to manufacture this illicit substance. After careful review of all the issues and working with substance abuse counselors, I came up with a strategy to combat this, and it's kind of threefold and it's proactive. All of that information in great detail is available on my website, electleanelson.com, and I believe that I can do the most good serving on that committee in Tallahassee.
Thank you. We're now back to Joan Pines for a question.
You alluded to your independence when answering my first question. The laws of Florida prohibit legislators from accepting anything of value from lobbyists, either directly or indirectly, not even a cup of coffee. What do you think of that law?
I think it's absolutely absurd the amount of money that legally gets donated to campaigns on the behalf of political action committees and outside interests. There needs to be some major reform. The purpose of government is to be the voice of the people that elected and create it, not the businesses or the organizations that exist out there. There's a balance between government, society, and corporations, and I think right now the system is set up to favor the corporations, and we have to find a solution to change that.
Thank you. Next up is Rosemary Goudreau.
Mr. Nelson, I find it curious that you speak about methamphetamine